I stopped explaining myself, and my life got quieter, not because I was angry, not because I was hurt, but because I realized something uncomfortable. The people who kept asking for explanations were never confused. They just didn't like my boundary. If you've ever felt drained after explaining a simple boundary, this will sound familiar. If you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking, "Why do I feel guilty when I was clear?" Stay with me. Here's the truth most people don't say plainly. Explaining doesn't create understanding. It creates negotiation. The moment you start over-explaining, you hand your decision back to someone else and invite them to weigh in. You turn a clear boundary into a discussion. And if you've been the reasonable one, the patient one, the one who communicates so well, you were probably praised for this early on. So you learn to explain, you learn to soften, you learn to make your boundaries sound polite enough to be accepted. But notice what happens when you do it. Your tone shifts, your body tightens, you add details no one asked for. You start managing the other person's reaction instead of standing in your decision. That's not maturity, that's self-abandonment, dressed up as kindness. Explaining feels safe because silence feels risky. Silence leaves room for disapproval. Silence means someone might think the wrong thing about you. So you talk, you clarify, you justify. But clarity doesn't require a backstory. When I stopped explaining, I didn't announce it. I didn't make a speech. I just stopped adding the extra sentences. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I've already decided. And then I stopped talking. Here's what no one warns you about when you stop explaining. People don't get confused. They get uncomfortable. Because confusion asks questions. Discomfort applies pressure. And pressure is how you find out who was benefiting from your over-explaining. At first, it felt exposed, like I had removed padding I'd relied on for years. But then something shifted. Conversations got shorter, my energy stopped leaking, and people responded in very different ways. Some adjusted immediately, others pushed back. That difference matters, because the people who respected me didn't need explanations. The people who benefited from my over-explaining felt entitled to them. That's when it became clear. Explaining wasn't about being understood. It was about keeping the peace, and keeping the peace was costing me mine. You don't notice it right away, but when you stop explaining, your life gets quieter. Not dramatic, just quieter. Fewer long conversations that go nowhere, fewer circular arguments, fewer moments where you replay what you should have said. What most people don't realize is that over-explaining trains other people how to interact with you. It teaches them that your decisions are provisional, that if they question you long enough, you'll eventually open the door again. This is what over-explaining looks like in real life. At work, someone asks you to take on something extra. You say yes, then explain why it's hard, why you're stretched, why this is an exception. The explanation becomes an opening. Next time, they expect the same flexibility. In relationships, someone crosses a line. You explain why it bothered you, where it came from, how you felt. They latch onto the explanation instead of the boundary. Now you're debating emotions instead of behavior. With family, you say you can't attend something. You explain your schedule, your stress, your reasons. The explanation becomes the focus, not the decision. Now you're defending instead of standing. Over time, this wears you down. The cost of over-explaining isn't just time, it's erosion. You feel it in your body, the tight chest, the racing thoughts. You feel it in your mind, replaying conversations, rehearsing explanations that were never required. Every extra sentence teaches people that your boundaries are flexible, that your no is just the beginning of a conversation. That's why some people react when you stop. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're being cold. They'll say they just don't understand. That confusion is not real confusion. It's discomfort. They were used to negotiating with you, and now the door is closed. If someone needs an explanation in order to respect your boundary, they were never respecting it. They were tolerating it, and tolerance disappears the moment you stop negotiating. This is where many women second-guess themselves. They wonder if they're being harsh, if they're becoming selfish, if they should explain just a little to smooth things over. But here's the distinction that matters. Respect doesn't require consensus. Someone can dislike your decision and still respect it. When they demand explanations, what they're really asking for is influence. Silence is not punishment. It's not manipulation. It's not withdrawal. Silence is self-respect. You don't owe everyone access to your reasoning. You don't owe closure to people who refuse to hear you. And you don't owe emotional labor to people who only listen so they can respond. When you stop explaining, you stop chasing agreement. You let people think what they think. And that's where authority starts. Authority doesn't argue. It doesn't persuade. It doesn't over-explain. It decides. This is what healthy boundaries actually look like. Consistency. The same answer, delivered the same way, every time. No, that's not something I'm doing. I'm comfortable with my decision. And then you stop. Your nervous system learns something new. That discomfort doesn't equal danger. That silence doesn't mean rejection. You move differently. You speak once. You let it land. People either adjust or they fade. And neither outcome requires a speech. You don't announce boundaries. You live them. You don't explain your silence. You trust it. You'll know you've shifted when your no doesn't echo in your head afterward. When you leave conversations feeling steady instead of shaky. That's the moment you stop explaining for good. Not because you don't care, but because you finally do. If this resonates quietly, you're in the right place. Subscribe for more conversations about boundaries, emotional maturity, and self-respect, without noise or performance.